All right, let's have some tea with tea for this Talk Therapy Thursday. I'm Tanya McLean Nicholas, licensed marriage family therapist. Have you ever heard someone say this? That's just the way I am. And maybe it's in regards to their communication, how they may be handling conflict. Maybe it's their people pleasing traits, their avoidance or addiction, financial habits, or even unhealthy ways of responding in relationships. Sometimes what we call just the way I am is actually a pattern we learned. We watched it, we experienced it, we adapted to it, and eventually it became familiar. But familiar doesn't mean healthy, it's cycles. And breaking cycles means intentionally stopping harmful or repetitive generational and behavioral emotional patterns and choosing something different. And let me be clear, you're not responsible for what you were taught, but you are responsible for what you choose to continue. So, how did we begin to break cycles? Well, recognize it's a pattern. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Ask yourself, what keeps repeating in my life? What triggers me? What behaviors do I keep returning to? What relationship patterns keep showing up? What did I learn growing up that I now realize may not be healthy? Okay, don't judge yourself. Just get curious. Awareness comes before you change. Identify what's underneath it. The behavior is often not the whole story. Anger may be covering hurt, control may be covering fear, people pleasing may be covering rejection, avoidance may be protecting you from vulnerability. Ask, what am I really feeling and what am I afraid will happen if I respond differently? Understanding the womb doesn't excuse unhealthy behavior, but it can help you understand where the pattern came from. Practice a different response. Breaking a cycle isn't simply saying, I'm never doing that again. It's learning what to do instead. Instead of reacting, pause. Instead of shutting down, communicate. Instead of rescuing everyone, set a boundary. I said it. Instead of criticizing yourself, practice self compassion. And instead of repeating what you witness, intentionally practice what you really need in your relationships and what you need them to look like. Practice, practice, practice so that it can become natural. And get support and stay accountable. Some cycles are deeply rooted, and you don't have to break them by yourself. That's why you have a therapist. Choose healthy relationships, maybe some support groups, mentors, educate yourself. And intentional accountability can help you recognize patterns that you can't always see by yourself. And here's something important. Breaking cycles can feel uncomfortable. You may feel guilty for setting a boundary. You may feel selfish for choosing yourself. People may resist the healthier version of you because they're accustomed to the old version. You may experience grief because you're starting to realize what you didn't receive growing up. You may even temporarily feel like you're failing because the new behavior feels awkward. That's not necessarily failure. Sometimes that's growth. You're learning a new way of responding. So if you're the person in your family to say, this ends with me, understand that you may have to practice what nobody taught you. You may have to communicate differently, love differently, parent differently, set boundaries differently, and heal differently. Now, you don't have to change your entire life overnight. Breaking the cycle one choice at a time, one pause at a time, one boundary at a time, one honest conversation, one healthier response, one courageous decision. Because sometimes changing your life begins with simply deciding, I may have inherited this pattern, but I don't have to pass it on. Thought, think about it. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.